This week, we spend some time getting our sailing skills back, then set out on a voyage that ends up being too much, so we turn around. We end up having fun anyway, exploring the Mangrove River and attending a local get-together on shore. So let's dive in.
'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. Oh.
One of the nice things about being flexible while sailing is that sometimes you have a wide open day to do anything. So we decided this day to do some sailing, to teach and to get better at our trimming and downwind skills. We were anchored here in New Bight, and we had good winds from the east and a nice flat bay. So we put up our code 0 and we headed out. The code 0 is generally a downwind sail, and you should use it when apparent winds are light to barely moderate. It's a big sail, and it's awesome when it's up. Aaron got a little yoga in, and then it was down to business. Alan and Courtney are considering getting a catamaran down the road, so we spent some time going over a lot of what we do, from pulling up anchor to getting the sails up. We were sailing with our friends on Seascape, and we spent some time comparing what we were seeing instrument-wise. Then we got to sailing.
Kind of fluttering now, like you can see it kind of flexing. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. The telltale's not really telling us
The next day, we followed the same path we sailed previously and headed downwind, but for a very different reason. We were going to Conception Island. Now, the waves forecast were high and the winds were moderate, so we figured we should try it. But like everything, you should have several backup plans. So if we decided to bail on going to Conception, we'd turn to Calabash on Long Island. And if that didn't work, we could turn around and go back to Cat. I can't stress enough how you should always have lots of alternatives when doing a transit. As we got closer to the southern end of Cat Island, the winds picked up and we put away the Code Zero. And it was smooth sailing for a while. We were hitting 8 to 9 knots at this point with virtually no waves. Then the waves began to build as we left the shadow of the island and were exposed to the large swells coming across the Atlantic from Africa. And then they built some more. And it got to be bigger and bigger beyond what we were comfortable with. The video doesn't show it well, but we think we were at 8 to 10 foot waves at this point. So we decided to turn towards Long Island, but that just made it worse. The waves were now on our beam, tossing us left and right, and it wasn't good. So we went with option 3, turn around and go back. Going with the waves was easy. We were all a bit relieved we didn't have 4 hours of getting beat up ahead of us. It was still a little bouncy, but much more pleasant. After we got back to where we started from, we found that it was high tide, which was perfect timing to go explore Mangrove River to the north of the New Bight anchorage. There ended up being a small blue hole tucked up in the mangroves, so Alan and Shane dove in to explore it. We had an unexpected bonus in turning back. The locals had organized a Rake and Scrape, a get-together to eat and drink and enjoy some local music. It turned out that there were lots of cruisers in the area that night, and we ended up making a bunch of new connections. We even found a couple of boats with kids that were William's age. He ended up coming home late after a night of dominoes on shore. It was really good getting to meet other cruisers with kids the same age.
Document it all. Smile, everybody.
And they like
Thanks for watching. We hope you're enjoying our adventures. Stay tuned next week as we go back to Long Island to spend a lot of time exploring blue holes. Until then, follow us on Instagram to keep up with what we're doing day to day. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.